case if you don't know, if there's anyone in Lagos, Nigeria that should have a Formula One license, it's this guy. Just so you know, I'm just putting it out there. It's this guy. Like,
He's always driving. He's always on the move.
he's always on the move, and he's our Lagos Michael Schumacher. I don't know if you know the guy. Like, this is our very own Schumacher. That's him. Yeah. So I know you do a lot of road trips, a lot of
late night drive, 1
drives.
a.m. drive,
Yeah.
2 a.m. drive, and rides.
Going on from
Exactly.
church to VG.
Anyway, it is there.
Yeah, but I was going to ask, do you actually is there anything you look out for in these cars before you actually take them, especially when you're doing interstate driving? Like, do you actually look at the car and say, okay, let me check this, let me check that, or you just go into your car?
Definitely, you can't be spontaneous in some certain areas in your life and not expect disaster to come your way.
Fair enough.
Well, for me, I always just, I decide to go for a trip. I'll pull up my phone, create a checklist. Cooling, is my coolant level okay? Do I need to top it up or replace it?
Fluids.
Is my engine oil leaking anywhere? Have I serviced it in the time when it was due for maintenance? And most importantly, tires. People take tires for granted. Treadwear, I'll say, comes in play mostly when you're driving on wet surface. Because essentially what the tread does is channel water out of the tire. So you are going for a drive on a random June, July afternoon, and your tires are balder than who is bald? I can't think of any bald person right now, but you get my point. Yeah, you will definitely meet what you are looking for. So most of that, I know, by God's grace, nothing, because there are things you plan for that can go bad, and there are things that just spontaneously. Because as a cars, I like the way I see cars. Everything on the car has an expiration date. Some are obvious, and the others you can't really tell until they actually go bad. So if you can tick all the boxes on the ones that are evident, I feel there's a high probability of you going and coming back home safely.
Safety is key.
Very, very.
Because I also pay attention to the whole tire thing, and sometimes people just think maybe I overreact. When the tire is looking funny, I'll just find a way to just start getting ready to change it. Mm-hmm. Not because of anything, but no, it's not even like I speed like that. But when you've seen one or two things before, you just don't want to have those issues. Mm-hmm. It's just very key. And a lot of people don't pay attention to treadwear. I know we buy a lot of Tokumbo tires down here. A lot of people buy Tokumbo tires. Yeah. And those guys do all manner of things. You even see them regrooving. So you need to be careful whatever you're buying. Even if you want to buy, even in the US, in the UK, they sell used tires. I mean, there was one time that I had to buy a used tire in the US because I was driving on the road, the tire popped. And then I just put it on Google. I found a nearby place where I could get used tire. I think I bought tire like maybe $40. It was, and they fixed it for me instantly, and I left. But when they gave me the tire, myself, I knew that these guys, they had even checked by themselves. They had done their checks. They had the quality. Yeah, nothing like that. For another, that tire, upgrade. They just let you upgrade. Like, that's exactly all. Or they'll press it. About it's not that pressing.
Speed rating.
Yes, there's speed rating. You now, you are going to buy maybe X tire, you are doing maybe 190, 250. You are trying to kill yourself. Mm-hmm. A lot of people don't know this thing. That's one thing about that. Just people don't actually know about that speed rating when it comes to tire. The time I found out, I went to check all my tires. Speed rating is very key. A lot of people don't know. They just think, I've bought fast car, enter road. You don't know if the dealer, like when I was getting the ISF now, for instance, whoever used it in the US loved his rims so much that when he was selling the car, he took off the rims and he just put normal Nissan Maxima wheels and some random tires, just put it there, some 18 inches. He's selling the car. But me, I didn't care because I know I was going to buy rims here. Now, those tires were still good. The rims were even okay. He had the proper stance on the car. It did fit well. But those tires were not tires that anybody wants to speed with because they were just some cheap knockoff tires that we got from wherever. Imagine you running low profiles, cheap, low profile.
That's
With very low ratings. Yeah, I can't remember the brand, but I think that it was the lowest of the lowest in an ISF. There's no points now. I just
change
removed
it.
everything. I didn't even bother selling it. I kept those rims with the tires. So sometimes they used to serve as spares. Each one disappeared. But when to get what to serve the purpose, because you cannot have a car that is over 300 horsepower and then you're now compromising on tire. It's like you just telling yourself that I want to kill myself.
Yeah.
Or you're compromising on brake disc or on brakes. You just want to kill yourself. That safety thing is very, very key. But in Nigeria we don't should we tire the road? Yeah, let's go now. So a lot of people don't check that trap. But he says he does. So that it should lead by he's leading us by example.
Exactly.
Because
I
I do.
was when I got used tires. I didn't buy new tires, but they were in good condition. And after a year, I was telling my colleagues, this is my tire. Even though yes, the treadings are still okay, I feel I should change it. And they were like, this guy, play I say again, money. Maybe I don't use my own tire 2 years. I was like, 2 years. And the person that said 2 years actually travels from Lagos to Ibadan. Not like at least every 2 weeks he travels, and
that's wild.
I was just like, correct tires. I don't know, you called the one name, maybe for trucks or something. I just
light truck.
Maybe it's light truck. I don't know what he called it, but I was just like, well, that's for him. I don't know. Though I know it doesn't do more than 120 because I've been in the car when we travel before. It does.
And so if it's not speeding,
I just felt well.
The danger happens when you start speeding. When I tell people, once, no matter how heavy the car is, they say it's heavy, it's this. Once you're getting above 100, it's just a moving cardboard. Why do you think you hear stories of this person was coming from the east, or was coming from one place, and on the road, the armed robbers threw rim for the person, and then the person crashed. It's not because he swerved, it's the impact of the rim when it was on high speed now. That thing alone will destabilize you, that you will not be able to, you will lose control in a split second. So once a car is moving fast, it becomes light. Yeah. No matter, there's no way you want to do it. Just that some cars are heavier than the others.
And
some cars have certain things. But if it's going to lift, it will lift. Just have it at the back of your mind that if this car is supposed to lift, there's nothing that will tie it to that ground except you drill anchor inside the ground. If not, it will lift. Yeah. Though there are some cars that they say don't lift, just like that char. But I'm not the one that will go and test it. You guys can test. Me, I'm not testing. I'm not ready to test. Yeah. So what do you think about cars that lift, like can take off the ground? Because I know you've seen things.
Yeah, I've
so
actually seen things.
Would you if I tell you that I want to buy a car tomorrow now, and I want to buy a fast car, and I want a car that is not the one that when I'm speeding it will take off and then I'll find myself somewhere and all of that. What would you advise me to buy?
I would advise you to go for something in the sportier section because first of all, SUVs are out of the
way.
No. Like I think it's printed on almost everywhere.
Yeah, I just can roll over.
Yeah. I remember first accident I witnessed was because my friend was driving an SUV like he was in a sedan.
Were you in the car?
No, I was in my own car in front.
Wow. Because I wonder how people do that stuff. Because even driving an SUV on a normal day for me is stress. I don't really like SUVs, but if I have money tomorrow, I'll buy my G-Wagon or my Cybertruck. But it's not just love, and truly, you see the way the body rolls a little bit when you're even like in bad roads. So you know that this thing is prone to flipping over.
But the thing is, so like you spoke about your friend, and I don't know how he was driving, but do you think, I believe that when it comes to speeding, I feel when things happen all of a sudden, it depends on the driver most of the time. It might not actually depend on the car itself. Yes, I agree with you that you said if something comes into the car actually and it can destabilize the car. But when that happens, what does the person do? I think that's where it comes to play. And this is why I'm saying that is because, yes, we're talking about SUVs, not speeding with SUVs. I know you have done some crazy stuff with a G-Wagon.
Allegedly.
Yeah, actually.
Allegedly.
Yeah, just, yes.
Allegedly.
Exactly. So, but some other people would try that and they won't get away with it. So this is why I'm just saying that I feel at the same time it's about the driver, because most people always want to drive fast. But it's not about driving fast. It's about how fast can you stop. For me, that's the way I see it. It's not about how fast can you go, but how fast can you stop when you need to actually stop. So
I think with SUVs, the problem is just pure physics. The faster you go, like he said, the lighter it feels because your center of gravity is already above the ground. Like the SUV is moving, you already have air going on there and it going up top. Sure. So you can't compare it to a sedan. Most of the air passes over the sedan.
You actually get it. That's why when sedan, like the saloon cars, like destabilize, they don't spin. But SUV will tumble. So I think I get it.
Center of gravity is already
it's high from the ground.
It's just in some certain, like they are making sportier SUVs.
Yeah, the coupes and then they have the air suspension.
So they found a way to cheat physics.
So let me ask you one question. What's the highest you've gone top speed?
Well, in any car?
Just your highest, just generally like your overall highest.
I think some years back when I was in Mexico, quote unquote, I was somewhere, at least my quick glance at the speedometer, I was around 290.
Okay, that's not bad. I mean, you see why we say you can get.
I think
that thing that we say
Mexico roads are actually very good.
That's what we are saying. That it can be a Formula 1 driver in Nigeria. You can see it. You can see
we're not smuggling drugs, yeah.
No, I don't do that. I don't do that.
He's a legit man. He doesn't do that. He doesn't do that. Wow, so was that an SUV or just a normal car? Or what happened? You were pushing the car to its limit.
It was a 2008 C63. So it was built for it.
Okay. That one is sweet now. That one, the car doesn't even know that you're pushing it. It doesn't even. It's not really. Just know that it's moving. So that's not a bad thing.
I was going to bring you back to your question where you asked, like, when it comes to fast cars, which cars will you recommend for people to buy? And I will just want to narrow it down to Lexus, because we all know Segun. When it comes to Lexus, once you see Lexus, you have seen Segun. Once you see Segun, you have seen Lexus.
If people want to drag me.
No. And when you see Benz, you have seen most.
He has a BMW. I am a BMW club member.
So,
but he loves BMW.
Yes, so but of lately, it's like he has gone towards that. He's leaning towards.
He likes
Benz.
both of them.
I like anything that goes fast.
Okay. So between the two, and I really don't want to take it too high to say, an E63 AMG or C63 AMG, and let's bring it down a bit to IS350 and probably like a C350 or C400. What do you think? What will you, if someone that actually wants to speed, what will you advise the person to go for between those two?
Well, based off the fact that I've used the C400 some years back, I would always sway towards the C400 over the IS350. But then, another reason I'll pick the C400 is the fact that with most of the IS cars from Lexus, they move fast, but they can't take too much beating when it comes to braking on stock parts.
Yeah, on stock parts.
Like, you push a Lexus to its limits with intense acceleration and braking. At some point, you don't have brakes, you only have God.
Yeah, you just see that the brakes are just there, but they are really not stopping. Yeah, that's why you have to upgrade your brakes.
Every car gets to that level.
You actually upgraded your brakes.
Every car gets to that level because, almost everything in the car, aside the AC, runs hot. The brakes would obviously get
so you need
very high
good brakes, very good brakes.
Okay, so that means, let's say we take the good brakes aside. In terms of handling, in terms of comfort, in terms of, we're going to go to reliability, how reliable they are when, you want them.
Reliability, I feel.
You work on them.
I'll say reliability is relative. The way you perceive reliability in a car might not be the way I do.
I agree with you.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm making a point.
You are.
Like the way someone who drives a 2008 Corolla defines reliability is not the way somebody in an IS350 defines reliability.
True.
Because I think most people that actually go for the Corollas are people that just want to go from home to work and back in one place. And Corollas have been known to be able to still get you there, irrespective of the fact they are limping on one leg.
You get there.
So those type of people will say their car is reliable. But someone in the IS350 that wants to get from home to work happier would know that, oh, my rear right shock absorber
It's bad.
is leaning a bit more than it should. Or my tie rods are
Slap.
Yeah.
having a little bit
Yeah,
of play.
Yeah. Music.
So reliability is always a very funny word in this country.
Strong point.
What do you think, Kevin?
I know you're looking for a way to drag me.
No, I'm not. I'm not looking for it. I just so did.
But
I've
I
not
agree with
driven-
him.
Actually, I've not driven a Lexus.
I can
I'm
give him
not-
my car to drive, but you buy steering rack for me.
Just chickeny money.
When you buy steering rack, I can give it to drive. So you can drive it, then you will now tell me what reliability is. I think personally, what may I look at? I don't know if it still falls under reliability, but I look at it from the aspect where if I'm driving on the road now, I'm like, I should break down. How soon can I get help? I don't know if you get where I'm coming from. I'm driving now, like the nearest mechanic around me
And knows how to.
can he even be able to say, Oga, now waiting do and be this. And I'll give you an instance why I'm pointing to this thing. Like it's also knowledge at the end of the day and how you learn. So that's one part of reliability for me. How soon can you get help? How soon can you get stuff fixed? And secondly is, will the car get you there even though it is dying? Will you get there and die? Or will you just die on you? I know that if you go on the road in a year in Nigeria, we can start from today, and if I'm wrong, people should correct me. How many Lexus brands, how many have you seen on the road that somebody is towing? Or that is just parked on the road, broken down? How many can you see on the road? I can tell you the number of Benzes that I've seen on the road.
Now,
Wait. I'm coming somewhere. I can tell you the number of Range Rovers that I've seen broken down on the road. I'm just saying, just a rough statistics. Or even look at cars that are being towed on trucks. How many Lexus vehicles have you seen that are on the road on those trucks or are being towed? You can go to a workshop and there's 100 of them there or 200 of them there, and with one issue or the other, I don't care. But I'm just saying, so for me, that's something that I actually look at a lot. And I don't even look at it just here in the country, even outside the country. I try to look at it and I say, okay, how many of these cars actually fail to proceed? Like, you just die on you. It will get there and it can get there and die. But for so many situations, the BMW that I've been driving, I know the number of times that I've had to push it. If we don't have that experience, I don't think I've ever had any major issue. Like if somebody doesn't do anything to my car, I don't think I've ever had any issue or any reason why I had to push it. I would actually have to get it to the workshop and say XYZ is wrong with this car. So for me, that's reliability. It will get there and it can get there and die, but it will still reach house. Now, the reason why I said how easy can you get help is, I remember a while back, I think in 2007, my dad had that 2005 advances or 2006 advances. Now, that was when that single serpentine belt thing started coming to play. Baba, that wanted to ruin the lot of Nigerian mechanics. As in, they had to go and learn because they were used to the one belt for power steering, one belt for alternator.
compressor.
Baba, The thing humbled so many mechanics. In fact, some mechanics stopped becoming mechanics because of just that thing. All those mechanics that you ask them, what did you say? Na Japanese that they do. When that thing started, you have to, up to now, if you don't learn, and the bad part about that thing is, when you install that belt, it looks like you've done it, but you just see that the belt is looking slack here. That's because you have not done the correct thing. Now, that particular day, my dad's belt caught, and they were on that road from morning till night, because I think it was somewhere along Songo Water. Like 6 different mechanics came and were not able to fix that belt. They had the belt, they now started saying, oh, it's the wrong belt that they bought. It's too long, it's too short. Baba, when his mechanic got there, he fixed that belt in less than 10 minutes. The actual belt for the car. Because he already knew the lines that, but if you don't know, you don't know. Now, for me, that thing, it took a lot of time before Nigerian mechanics could get that kind of knowledge and all of that. Then also, there were limited resources. But what I'm saying is, on a general ground today, if my car spoils, I drive a C400 or I have a C400 and I have an F350, we both break down on the road now. Then chances are high that if we don't have like major engine brake or something, my own Lexus might still get home compared to that Benz. The chances that...
But then it's not a fault on the manufacturer part.
I agree with you that it's not a fault.
Yeah.
No, it's society, yes. But also, those vehicles have a lot of system integration and whatnot that if one thing is not working, just do it. Even you might even be saving yourself at the end of the day by towing it. So I'm just saying, like you said, reliability too can be relative. So when it comes to all these, is Benz better, is Lexus better, I always tell people, it depends on what you want in a car. But that thing that, okay, when you get into trouble, you get help fast. It will get you there. I'll still pick a Lexus or a Toyota over it. But I'm not saying I don't like Benz or it's sweet. I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying when chips are down, who is going to get saved faster? That's just what I'm saying here. And sometimes that's all you need. Imagine you are doing an interstate journey in the US. It's cold. It's already 7 p.m. You are in the dark. Engine is shutting down. Everything is shutting down. You need to get to the nearest station or nearest. Which one is going to go? I know Benz engines are strong. They don't die. I mean, everybody says this, that. I know. And I respect these brands. Like, I love them. But when it comes down to it, I've been in situations where the Benz is the one that will off you on the road, or the Range Rover, it will off you and nothing will happen. In fact, if a tow truck doesn't get there safe, that's the end. GL450 has offed me on Tobi Bridge before for no reason. At the end of the day, what did they say happened? They say there was an issue in the SAM. But it will off you and nothing will happen. You will try and start it. I've seen where the engine itself will be knocking you to still carry you to the mechanical shop. You can't try it with a Benz. I'm not saying they are not strong, but I'm saying even if you want to push it, you yourself will not even advise yourself to push it because you know you're calling for more trouble. So is it really reliable in that sense?
Yeah. For me, I would not say it looks like maybe things have changed a bit because I agree with you, but I remember back in 2007-8, I used to have a friend. His dad had one nice Benz. His dad was a pilot. He had one nice. He has two. So one was I think SL 350 or 450. I can't. Well, it's the 2-door. He had 2 different types, and I remember I used to say that no matter what happens on the road, that Benz will get his father to the house. Now, even if the Benz don't they cough, it will come on and get that. When he get home, the two will
I can
go
agree with you.
But what you are saying now is looking like
it's relative.
Also, yeah,
so it's relative. I can agree with you. I remember, we had one Volvo back in the days too. That Volvo 244. But I know the things that I did to that car personally, but every morning when they started to start. But that doesn't mean that it might get tussle. You get what I'm saying? So it's just relatively how you choose to see it or anything. People can come for me and say, oh, it's one of those Lexus people, blah, 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 it's this. But it's just how you choose to see it. And when it really gets down to it, which really gets you. Now that Benz that you're talking of might not die because even you know how Benz used to be back in the days. There's nothing it will just be shaking ash, but it will get you, especially regular Benz. But when it wants to off you like this, I've seen where we'll be inside regular Benz, it's even removing black smoke. It will do, but it will get home. But I've seen the days that sometimes if we leave it there and come back 2 days after, it has still not worked. They can say, it's brain box. They can say it's one thing. So, but I don't think growing up to now, I don't remember how many times I've left like a Toyota car on the road just like that. Like when it boils down to towing. But even you stuff when you're driving like a Benz, a Beamer, once the car starts to misbehave, you're better off just even by yourself offing it and call tow truck.
Exactly.
Don't bother because you might cry premium tears. So don't even bother. So that's it for me. Like, can you really push it? Even if you can, do you really want to push it? That's the question. If you're okay, yes, you want to push it and let's see now. Let's push it and let's see what will happen to you. Let's see your bill at the end of the day. So those are the challenges for me. But this my chairman here is always there. He knows he's been there, he's done that, he's seen it. He's the one that knows what's reliable and what not. But I'll ask you one question. If today now any one of us want to buy a car, a Nigerian used, okay, the question will come in 2 ways. A Nigerian used car. Or you want to buy a car, would you advise, okay, to buy a Nigerian used car or a Tokumbo car? Which would you advise?
Sure. So I think it's one of those questions that have questions within there.
That's the A, B, C, D.
Because, okay, you want a Nigerian used car. Do you know the maintenance culture of the previous one? If you do, and if you are diligent with the way you treated the car, you might be better off than buying
a Tokumbo. Fair enough.
And in Tokumbo aspect too, you've seen a car you like. Do you know what the car looked like before it came into the country? Did you buy a car that Hawk smashed on Iron Man? And they brought it here and just put some fuel, maybe K powder on it.
Fair enough.
So it's just you asking yourself the questions. Because me, whenever anybody calls me and they're like, oh, I want to get a car, the first thing I ask is, what is your budget? Like, how much are you looking to spend on a car? Because I feel if you want to buy a car and you have 10 million, you shouldn't buy a 10 million car.
Fair enough.
You're being irresponsible. If you want to buy a car and you have 10 million, you're better off buying a 6 million car or a 7 million car. At least if anything happens within the first year, because if you decide to buy a used car, you don't expect to not meet issues. This is something that has been on the road, even brand new too. Like, something will happen, something will break, because everything, no matter how good or genuine the part is, starts to deteriorate once it's installed in the car. So it's not a spiritual problem from your family if you buy a BMW and 2 weeks later the AC stops cooling, because the compressor might have been on the way out. Like, it just happened to be coincidental.
Fair enough.
Like, go for something that still leaves you with enough allowance to put the car in a shape you feel is 100%. So, second question would be, are you looking for something fun or something that will just serve the primary purpose of transportation? If you're looking for something fun, yeah, you can go for Mercedes, you can go for BMW, whatever European brand that will send you back to your village. And if you just want something that will get you to work and back, everybody would always put option 1 as Toyota.
Fair enough.
It's always just simple questions before you actually commit to a car.
Now, that brings me back to my second question, which is, okay, I want to buy a car. We've answered the question of whether it's Nigerian used or Tokumbo, yeah? Because I don't even trying to go into the high band of branding. Because branding, what are you checking now? If they think you misbehave, you carry it back to them. But now, if I want to buy a car, just for the guys out there, you get it's just for everybody to know. I mean, we've discussed safety and all of that. If I want to buy a car today, I take it that I don't know anything about cars. He doesn't know anything about cars. Everybody else doesn't know anything about cars. Just like a few basic things to tell us that, okay, what should we look out for when we're trying to buy a car? Just the two things that we should look out for. Just tell me something. Tell us anything that you can advise us and say, oh, if you're buying a car tomorrow, just check this first before you even say you want to go and call mechanic. You yourself, just check.
So I think at least now we're in the digital age of life.
Yeah.
You want a car, you are not really experienced. Almost every car brand out there has a forum.
Fair
And
enough.
what easier way to know the common issues a particular car brand has than just going through forum groups. Like, I remember back then when I wanted to buy my Audi. I always tell people that car actually probably just changed the course of my destiny, because it was when I used that car I was more interested in knowing what makes a car a car. So you can start with just going through your phone. What are the common issues these cars always have? You know it. How available and how cost effective is it to replace the fast stack and do that? You know that part. Find yourself a good, honest mechanic. Because most days, customer to mechanic bond is actually tighter than husband to wife.
You go your mechanic introduction.
like form a bond with one, because it matters a lot. As simple as you form a bond with a mechanic, you take that mechanic with you when you want to check the car. He has to be honest, because it's easy for a car dealer to sway mechanics' opinion towards you getting that car off his lot. It can take as cheap as 50k.
I'm telling you.
That will put you in a 10 million naira
mess. That's
so
true.
it's always just a simple thing.
So you have to find a loyal one. Anyways, I'm sure that so we can come to your workshop today now and say, oh sir, I want to go and buy a car. Can the staff of yours go and inspect, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
for me
fair
now,
enough.
the Audi is the reason I actually was interested in becoming a mechanic. Because before I became a mechanic, I had a eye. I studied industrial chemistry. But then when Audi wanted to show my mechanic shit, and he was already getting to the stage where a lot of issues I was having was clueless, I actually just decided to now go to an automotive training. Like, okay, Oti back in the, can I speak?
Yeah, sure.
Oti back in the day with your boy. Let me now actually go to people that can teach me more. Then, if I have that knowledge, while you're working on my car, I can actually pass some of it to you. Because I can know how to do it, but it's not every day I want to be taking out shock absorbers. It's not every day I want to be removing exhaust manifold. So I actually got trained, and aside the technicality of dealing with Nigerians, I enjoy fixing cars. Because it's just that joy you feel from actually getting something to work.
Yeah.
In comparison to sitting in front of a computer from 9 to 5. No pun intended.
I feel you.
I mean, I get what you're saying. So the Audi, after you were done with the class, the training, were you able to fix the Audi? Or
so when I fixed the Audi, I can remember vividly. I fixed it, but then I never really had the trying to drive it. So it was packed a lot. And the day I decided, okay, I have this car's time now. Let me actually start to drive it again. I noticed a few of the parts I had actually fixed had gone bad again. I was like, car away, I don't drive. Come on. Who wants an Audi A6? Who wants an Audi A6? And that was just like,
they're wild.
will I ever buy an Audi again? Maybe.
You never know.
But then,
Probably to
I know
future.
my Alpha will be following me in the passenger seat because the things that
Speaking of Audis, somebody reached out to me a few months ago and they wanted this alternator. Is it for the R8? That alternator is the water cooled alternator. That alternator is not available anywhere. It's not just available. And when you find it, so they have been looking for it, but may I have this thing where I tell people, no matter the part you are looking for, I can get it for you. Just make sure that you have money to meet what the price, but that you will not find it. That means you don't have money. I tell people, it's only if you don't have money that you're saying we are looking for a part and we did not find. But if you have money, that part will come out. Now they now reached out to me, and then I think by the time we did all the asking around, the alternative alone was like $5,000. And I was like, what's so special? So that now started to mess with my curiosity, and I was like, what's making this alternator so expensive? Because they wanted a brand new one, they didn't want to use one. I think they bought like 5 used ones from that depot. When the thing works in the morning, by night it's off. So they wanted an original OEM brand new one. So that was the saying, oh, the alternator is complicated, it was water cooled, this, and I'm like, why would I go through all the stress of doing all of that? Because it's not the manufacturer that is suffering it now, it's the owner of the car that is suffering it. You manufacture all that problem, then put it inside a car for somebody, then the alternator will now be dying. Just be dying, and then no solution to it. I think it's wild. And that's just one experience from an Audi. I have several stories. I've not owned one, but I've been around people that owned one. Yeah. And I've heard. I'm sure if me and him sit down and start talking about this is Audi, we can be here till tomorrow on just the experience of what he has gone through. And so my question is, why are they like that? Are they just were they made to just be used for maybe a short time, enjoy it maybe for like 50,000 miles and get rid of it? Because whenever people tell me they want to buy a BM, I'll say, go and buy brand new. Or buy certified pre-owned. Make sure they've not really rocked it. Just make sure. It might be reading low mileage, maybe the person is a mad person, and once he starts it in the morning, he's drifting till evening. The mileage might not be high, but you want to buy problem. So just think, because if the thing would have been overheating or be very hot, all those plastic pipes safe. When it enters your hand like this, you start to burst. The guy say, I say, so buy brand new. So the reason why I always try and advise people to buy brand new if they can afford it is, you're the one that is using this thing, is fresh out the oven and whatnot. And then you can use it for maybe 1 year or 2 years, and then sell it to anybody that wants to see premium shege. If you don't want to see premium shege from those cars, I think that's the best way to go about it. I might be wrong, but I think when you want to enjoy cars like that, that's the idea. Buying a used Audi or a used BM like we do in this country, it's just strong-head.
But I think for the Audi, don't you think maybe it's a climate plays a big factor?
No, which climate?
It doesn't play factor.
Climate is the least of any car's problem.
The biggest lie.
Climate what?
Was that, you need to remove the thermostat because it's hotter here.
No, I don't even believe that.
Have you seen Texas sun?
Yeah, or California or Dubai.
Yeah, I know.
In Dubai in the summer is hot, and they have cars that their thermostat is working perfectly, and the AC is chilling fine. So why are we removing thermostat? I think that thing was just a very, very stupid thing back in the days.
A lot of mechanics were this.
It worked for our families back then, because I know most of the cars we had
were rugged.
Most cars we had
could take a beating.
Yeah, it could take a beating. But now there are some cars, once you even remove the thermostat, you started giving the car issues. You just start to check engine light that will never off. Then maybe you spoil the engine in the process. If I don't even know. So That whole thing, they say, we want to tropicalize. I'm like, what is tropicalizing? What are you tropicalizing? they found the word for it that time. Any small thing, hello, your thermostat here. Shetty, your thermostat. It's only in recent times I don't hear those things in the workshop anymore. Shetty, but before, once the car comes in, remove thermostat, change it to double cell radiator, connect the fan to direct. That was the standard. Whether anything is wrong with it, the battery shares mama tutu. Temperature ain't going. Need day half. That's what
their way of just
but you're already killing that car small. You don't know. Because even the battery itself and the alternator, the electrical system is running on fan blowing 247. It's supposed those things were made to take breaks and come back. But we all do well, like you said, we keep learning every day. So over time, people who have started gaining knowledge of these things and they've been getting better.
One more thing I was going to ask. I know like you have done a lot of road trips with so many different cars, and let's just put it down. Like let's say you're traveling now from Lagos to Ibadan. With all the old cars you've driven in the past, which of them would you want to actually go back to drive now if they're to, line them up and say, okay, pick one now because of the driving experience? Which particular car would you pick right now?
Wait, like cars I've owned in the past or
that
cars I've driven? Cars are
because I know the lot of cars probably
this guy
like 2,000.
He has lost body count.
Car count.
Yes.
Well, if any car I've driven that I would love to take on a road trip to Ibadan, it has to be the almighty Porsche 911.
You are going too far now. As in, a lot of people killed. A lot of people. So, look, me, I'm a Porsche lover.
Yeah.
In fact, I had one. I had a 1988 911. But I owned it. I never got to drive it. But I owned it. And for every time that it was there where it was, I used to go and look at my thing maybe every 2 days in the morning, walk around it. Until one man reached out to me and said he wanted to buy it from me. And that man toasted me so much that I knew that I was trying to protect the existence of the Porsche. It was like, look, I've seen you. I know that you don't have the money to fix this thing. You don't. But I have the money, and I'm telling you that I'm not going to sell it. Meaning, whenever I fix it, when I'm done, and you have the money to pay me for it, I'll sell it to you at a good price. And he told me, said he doesn't want me to sell it to a random person that will just go and put one VW engine inside.
That's it.
He said he doesn't want that. Bro, when I saw his collection, I told him, I said, come and carry. That is, I know this thing is going to a good place, because some Turkish guy that wanted to export the car to one other country already came and was offering me one funny price. I think he was offering me one cheap price, maybe like 1 million or something that time. And I told him, I said, okay, you see this car, I don't drive it, nothing, but they always wash it every day. So you need to understand the love that I have for it. I like it. You see that this place that you always come and look at it is where I bought it from. It's not my house, so I didn't take it out of there, but they already know. I've had the conversation with you now. So I come and look at my property there. I pay security. So that's today you know how much love I have for a Porsche. But you put when it comes to the naira and cover, you see this car that I just mentioned now, it's not for small boys.
It's not for small boys.
It's not for small boys. And if you give a small boy that car, it will kill him.
There are cars that can kill someone.
But you see how on Instagram, most of our banter is just, okay, Lexus boys versus Benz. Do you ever hear anybody say,
the guys that drive those things don't make noise?
No, so
they don't even need to make noise.
I think it's because we have not gotten to that level where a lot of people can relate.
It's not that
to the Porsche.
That was a day.
Because I feel this is why people always talk more about Lexus and Benz, is because, and if you notice that people that actually make those noise are people that, I'm not going after anybody, but people that drive the IS250 or C300 or like the lower, these are people that will actually come out and start making noise. People that drive maybe, 350,
you don't really see them.
You don't really see them coming out.
Bro, the Porsche is on another level.
Yeah,
that one that I had, that one that I had was the one.
That
That one that I had was the one that they used to call the Widowmaker.
Yeah, the Widowmaker.
And I even go and sometimes when I tell people I have the car called the Udome car or something, they'll be like, They don't even know. But truly, that car will kill you if you cannot handle it. That you see this car that you just mentioned now. If you give somebody that doesn't, I always tell people if a car is over 400 horsepower, like just a normal car, and even over 300, and it's a rear-wheel drive, not just anybody can drive it. Because it can lose control in seconds on a slippery road. Everything can just scatter down now. But people always think, what are you talking about? But it's the fact. You see this. He knows what he just mentioned. Don't worry. He knows it.
Oh, that's
the way that car was designed. It is music. It is music to the ears.
Yes.
You know, there are certain cars you actually love to drive. Then there are cars you just like to see them being driven. You love to see a Porsche being driven. Like if you see a Porsche on the road, the way it moves from lane to lane, you'll be like.
I think it's even called the engine placement. I think it's a flat six.
Yeah, it's a flat
so
six.
It makes it balanced.
Then the suspension.
They know what they did. Don't worry. Those guys know what they did. They took their time and they know what they did.
Like their cars, their last bus stop cars.
Sweet.
Like, you know, what else you want? Like there are certain cars you buy and they are like top of the range of what's available in your environment. And you're like, okay, I'm tired of this car. What am I buying next?
And everybody that you now see that buys it now, you know that this person has class and he has taste. It's not just one random. As a normal random, you're not just going to buy it.
So look at this certain car dealer that has 911 Turbo S
in his shop.
Yeah. And everybody else is parking the G-Wagons and the Urus, and they're just living the real diamond.
Can you imagine? There was one car dealer that me and you went to a while back. Where in their shop, all they have is performance. So like if they have the Urus now, they have the Performante. What's that thing called? If they have the G-Wagon now, they have the B700 or what's that thing?
Yeah.
So I used to wonder. And in their car shop, they didn't have up to 30 cars. But you see every single one of them that they had are all those ones that are like maybe one of 10, one of 20, one of this. And for me, I used to wonder what was in the person's head. What was he thinking? You will know that this person has seen it all. For him to be thinking of stocking such to come and sell. That's the way when you see somebody that has a Porsche. That's the way their mindset is. It's not just somebody that just wants to buy a car because he wants to buy a car. He wants to buy a car because the car has specific needs in his own personal life that they will meet. Maybe it's the way he moves, maybe the kind of driving die. Baba, don't worry. Those cars,
I get.
And they can send you back to your village in seconds. So don't worry. No, you go back. So you cannot even say I never chop. Now small I chop and I want to buy. Who are you?
The guy go come off.
If one check engine light you on like this. Okay, I saw JD Auto fixing one Porsche, and when the moment he started posting it, I kept following him, and as I was just following him throughout that day because I was seeing what he was trying to achieve, there is a small fuse right behind the dashboard. So for him to reach that fuse, you know that this guy has to strip the entire car just to reach that. It's small. I can't. Yes.
Pyro fuse always under the.
And I'm like,
under the dashboard.
Why did these mad people? Why did they put this thing here?
That's crazy.
So they will do that car with all the speed, everything. They'll not look at how can we make this thing complicated? Okay, put that fuse here. That's how I see it. Like they know what, and that's what makes these cars expensive because you say, okay, go and fix that car in Yankee. In Yankee, if anybody wanted to fix that car, at least you'll be paying up to 5 or 6K in labor already. So it's not for a small boy. It's not. It's not like and it's not a car that okay. I'm using an S250 now. And I want to go and buy. Your mother has to be praying for you because you cannot drive it and say you want to be cruising. You have to be able to match it. We don't even have the roads. We don't have the roads.
So many cars are actually.
There are so many cars down in this country that they don't get their full potential because you know how the road is. Some people abroad, they are tracks now. We don't even have tracks. They put their cars on flatbeds and take them to the track and do whatever it is they want to do with it. But here we are. I'm sure that if we continue like this, we are not going to leave here today. Tobi, do you have any other questions? Let's let this man go.
I was going to even ask because I remember, I think I saw you with driving an R8 one time. An Audi R8. This guy is...
They gave it to me.
They gave it to you. We need to start that, what do you do and how do you get so much money to get all these guys? Because it's not even adding up now. So, how many cars do you have? Like 20 or 30, I mean?
They're not more than
6. God when?
I'm sure you guys
I have
are
to God
also saying
when.
the same thing to God when.
No, but it's just a sign that, if I want to bring my car to him today, he lets me know that, okay, he knows what he's doing because definitely he can handle these cars. You know what it means? And I know he's not talking of he has 6 Corollas because this man, I don't think he can use a Corolla for 1 month. He will knock the engine.
I'm not even sure I've never seen him drive a Corolla.
I've driven several Corollas.
I don't think I've seen you drive
maybe
any.
it's a customer's Corolla.
I'm sorry.
My family member.
Are you sure? Okay.
And the engine did not
He didn't spoil the engine.
I can't answer that question.
Because this bros, he dey drive, he dey waka.
So anyway, it's nice having you on the show. And usually before we round up, always try to come up with one car fact. I don't know. Do you have any car fact?
Do you have any car fact for us that I can tell the viewers? Because me, right now, I don't have any.
So, there's one that actually does pop up because we're talking about Lexus. And you guys might know because you guys are car guys. But apparently, Lexus actually started as an experiment in America because they were trying to compete and dominate the market. Because Benz was actually taking over the market and people actually were buying Toyota, but the people that were buying Toyota were not the people at that
elite.
Yes, the elite. So they wanted to compete at that level, and they knew that as long as they had the Toyota badge, those people will not buy it, and that's when the Lexus was introduced.
Back more money.
I tell people, a Lexus is a bloody Toyota. Anyhow you choose to see it,
more comfortable to you.
It's a bloody Toyota. Like everything you find in a Lexus, you find it in a Toyota. So really, but just that it gives you more value for the money, and then the yes sir that you're looking for in a Benz, you might be lucky to get it in a Lexus. That's just it. So that's a good fact that you just pointed out because a lot of people don't even know.
But did you find out about the tire stuff?
Which one?
The tire that when they make the tires, they come in.
Oh, he was telling me something that when tires are made, they come in white. Like training white. I didn't know that, but
then they had the. Oh, you know about it. Okay.
So it's like it's something that I didn't know.
Oh, okay,
true. I hated chemistry. As in, I don't even know how you guys do it. What's that element chart? Periodic table. That's the thing that first finished me. And our chemistry teacher, if he should see you on the road, he'll ask you, "What's the something element?" Hey. I think you're supposed to know the first 20 elements of found or something, Baba.
But I'm sure when he sees you on the road, he'll just be like,
hey, bro, there was no way I could have just passed chemistry, man. I don't know how you guys do it or how you guys did it, but that wasn't for me. I like the physical thing, like let's do it hands on. I don't want to be reading anything. I don't want to be counting elements.
I wasn't even in science class. I wasn't sure I could cope with it.
Bro, I couldn't, man. I don't know what they were doing down there. Or whatever it is they were doing. It was like magic. Science? Nah. It's not for small boys. So we appreciate you and we really respect you for coming out. Thank you very much for coming.
And you guys don't forget to like, subscribe, and also we're going to put a link to his profile page on Instagram in case you want to check him out.
You want to fix your Teslas, you want to fix your BMWs, your Range Rovers, anything you want to do, check him out. He's around the Yaba axis. For those guys that feel closer to the Yaba axis, we'll drop all the details necessary for you to reach out to him.
And also, before we close, it's rainy season. During rainy season, what do we do?
You pack your Benz and you pack your beer.
And pack your Lexus at this
Pack
point.
your Range Rover.
And pack your Range Rover.
Pack
Because
everything,
just pack it and go and find one Corolla, or find vehicles that have that use the steering column system where the motor that controls the steering rack is still underneath the dashboard. It's electrical or it's not electrical, or even if it's electrical, it's under the dashboard. But if you are using those ones that the steering rack has the electric motor inside it and it's right under the car, it's either you save money for steering rack and you have a budget for it, or you just pack it till after rainy season. Or you do insurance. So me, my insurance. You hear from me on Monday.
All right, guys. So thank you once again, and thanks Alhaji Muse. Thank you, Segun. And you guys don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and also your car stories, whatever it is you are going through. Make sure you comment it. Let us know. Let us know your car story so that we can even bring it up on the show. All right. Peace out.
Peace, everyone.